Hi everyone. In this video we're going to learn how to do a pivot table, how to use a pivot table to analyze loans and deposits. We're going to see the pivot table is very powerful. There is many calculations that you can do and many different ways that you can group the data, and it's very easy to look for insights into data. We're going to use this data set. We have date, state, county, loan and leases, shares and deposits. The data set is from all credit unions, loans and deposits, all credit unions in the US. We have about 5 years of data. These quarterly values. Okay, well, to do a pivot table, we want to select the data. So click in A1 and then hold down Control Shift, arrow to the right, and then arrow down, select all your data set. Now we have selected all our data. We can see we have more than 26,000 rows. So then go Insert, Pivot Table. So, and then you have the option, existing worksheet, new worksheet. We want to go new worksheet. Click OK. OK. So here in the pivot table field is we have all our data columns. We have date, state, county, loan and leases, shares and deposits. So we want to move those columns here in our areas. Of course, it makes sense to put state and rows or columns or filters, right? But not really in values. I mean, it counts all the states, but I mean, it's not really what you want. So let's have states and rows for now. Let's put date on columns, and you can play around and see how your pivot table is looking and if it makes sense or not. Okay, and let's move loan and leases into values. Okay, let's convert the currency, the amounts to currency. So click on any cell, right click, number format, currency, no decimals. Okay, so click here and here to center the data, the pivot table. Okay, so let's open here. So for the state, this is total loans in quarter 1, total loans in quarter 2, 3, and 4. This is the soft total, which is the sum of all of them. Of course, it doesn't really make sense to have this column similar for all the years. So one thing that you can do to expand all of the years at once, so just click in the year, right click, expand entire field, and expands all of them. So to take out this, similarly grand total, it doesn't make sense to have that. We go design, no soft, do not show subtotals, and for grand totals on for columns only. So it's gonna take out the rows. Okay, so still we have something here in quarters. We have the month. We can take out quarter of date here. Let's take out quarter. There we go. Still, March means Q1, June means quarter 2. Okay, so here we have our pivot table for total loan and leases. You can see the fields that we have selected here are in bold. Okay. Okay. So we can move now county under state. So we can see now we have the county under the state. So let's, for example, right click, collapse entire field. And one thing that we can do is go view in the freeze pane. Let's click here. So now we can, it's easier to move around the pivot table. Let's sort. You can sort, of course, the pivot table. So the state with more loan and leases is California. You can expand and see the counties as well. You can sort up the county, see what are the counties with more loan and leases. Very easy. So we have only 36 counties in California, but of course we have much more counties. The reason is those are the counties where the credit unions are located, the headquarters of the credit unions. Okay, so similarly, so we're looking here at loans. We can take out loans and put shares and deposits. Just make it a currency. Okay, you can sort and see which are the counties with more deposits. What can you do with the pivot table? Well, you can do many things. For example, you can move, let's say, a state to the filters. You can select the state that you want to see. So I have selected only 2, California and Colorado. So I have the counties here. Or you can select all, just click all and select all. Select one, so it's up to you. So once you are here with your pivot table, for example, let's look at calculations that you can do. Click in the cell and right click, show values as percent of row total, percent of column total, percent of, there's many calculations. We're not gonna cover all of them, but in this case for deposits, I think this one is very important. Percent of column total, let's click. So what is happening here? So, well, it means that Los Angeles has 22.2% of all this list of counties. So because the sum is 100%, so we can say is the market share of this county. In December it was 22.3, it went to 22.2, actually lost market share. Orange County actually gained market share. This one went down. And we're just looking counties from California and Colorado, but we can look at all the counties and see which one has more deposits. And since it's the percentage of the column total, we can see if it was an increase from previous quarter. And actually you're looking at the market share of the county level. we know some states they have this count. They have counties with the same name. That is why it's important actually to move down a state here. So now, if there is if there is counties with the same name, um, when you put that state down, now it breaks the counties to that belonging state. So what state has more market share? California is the one, um, but actually it lost from December. It has been increasing. Actually, you can do a conditional colors. Why is only showing? Um, there we go. I don't know what was happening. Okay, anyways. So the higher, actually the color should be the opposite. This one. The higher the percentage, the more green, the lower red. I mean, seems that California has been losing market share. I mean, it was pretty high between 2017 and 2018. Okay, um, so in this case, it's not very important, but you can do as well percent of row totals instead of percent of columns, and now you're getting the percentage of the row. So the sum of the row is 100%. Then you just go and show values. There's no calculation. How do you take out this color? So you go manage rule. Sorry. No. Clear rules from the entire select sheet. In this case, let's go just the select cells. Clear rules from select the cells. Okay. So there's more calculations that you can do, of course. Besides those that you see here, you can go more auctions. By default, normally you always see sum of deposits, but you can go count, average, max, mean. Let's look up average. If you go average, now instead of adding all the amounts for every county, we're gonna do the average. So average. So for example, California. Let's look at California. So the average is 6 billion, more than 6 billions in this quarter. Let's click double. If you double click, you're gonna go to the rough data, the data for California. So double click, there you go. Of course, you go to the data for California. Here we have only California. So here we have our deposits, here we have our loans, this is the county. So we were looking at deposits, the average. So if you select all this column, so there you go, here is your average. Your average is more than 6 billions, and your sum is it's 229 billions. Let's take out the decimals. There you go. Okay, so we're looking at the average. Then you can go back. Sum. Here it is, the sum. You can go as well as count is gonna do the counting of how many counties, the max, what is the counting, the county with the highest amount. Let's go max. So California, the max is 57 billions. So let's go to the data. This is California. Let's do the sort. So there you go. Los Angeles, this is the county with the highest amount of 57 billions. Let's delete this. Also, you can go, you don't have to go from here to go to those calculations. You can also click here, and then you click here, value field settings, and you are here. There's more calculations that you can do here. As you can see, okay, what else can you do with a pivot table? There's many things that you can do depending your data, how your data looks, what do you have in your data. For example, something important that I want to show you here is how to do a calculated field, which is a calculation of fields that you have already in your data, combining those fields or multiplying a field by a number. So okay, let's actually this is still in max, but there's no calculation. Oh, it's because it's in the to take now to go back to sum, you go to here and then click sum. Okay, so let's take out this one. To do a calculated field, you go pivot table, analyze, field items and sets, and then you click calculated field. And we're gonna do loans to deposits. We're gonna call the field loan to deposits. And what it is, it's just a ratio over field of loan and leases over field of shares and deposits. Okay, now let's go number format, percentage. Okay, very good. So we can see which are the states with higher percentage and the states with lower percentage. Similarly, the counties. You can do your conditional formatting. Okay, in this case, the higher the percentage, the more red the cell. We can see the percentage was pretty high in 2019, 2018, but in 2020 it started to go down, especially in 21. And it's because deposits increased a lot at the end of 2020, and it was because of all the stimulus. I think the deposits increased about 25%, and normally they increase around 6% year over year. So why this percentage is important to understand to see is because we know credit unions, they get deposits and they do loans from those deposits. But if they using all the money from deposits, which in the case of 100%. So this can be a sign of of liquidity problems in the future. It's just an indicator, but there is much more things to look into. But the idea is that if your credit union doesn't have deposits to do loans, it has to borrow money from other companies, has to get money from other sources. And the thing is that it shows that it has been doing a lot of loans, and if there is an economic crisis and there is a lot of losses, the credit union can be in issues and problems, because has done a lot of loans. Um, but of course, this percentage doesn't tell you about the loan to value, the credit quality of the loans. Um, it just shows that the credit union is lending a lot according to the deposits. It's just what shows. Of course, you wanna see the size of the credit union, how the deposits have been increasing, all of that is very very important. Deposits tells if you're getting more customers. If your deposits are increasing, tells that you're getting more customers, and you need to look at your peers. If they're getting more deposits than you, all of that. Um, so okay, so for example, let's look at California. You open California, and let's say you sort by county. So those are the counties with highest percentage and lower percentage. Now let's just select California. So you click in California here, right click, keep only select the items. So okay, we're just looking at California. Um, okay, let's move now deposits. Let's put deposits, number format. So also you can go conditional formatting, and then let's put bars. So now what you have here, you have the counties with higher sort of the counties with higher percentage. So this county, for example, um, has a lot of deposits, and we know 2020 went down, but how was how was before? 86, 83, 84. Yeah, I think it has been not bad. I mean, not too high. This county has a lot of deposits, and the percentage. How was the percentage before? No, not too high. Okay, let's move a state. Filters. All states. Okay. And then let's. Okay. So this is what we have here. Okay. Look, those counties. Those counties are the ones with more than 100%. This is, I mean, it's just 1 million, 1 million. So I'm not surprised why the percentage looks this way. We can still click here and see where this county belongs. Okay. But here, I mean, this county, actually this one, if you look at this one, it's 3 billions, almost 4 billions, and it is 96%. It is 96%, and so it's in Texas. So this county, I'm not sure how many credit unions has, but this credit union has a pretty high ratio. Something to take a look here and look at the credit unions that belong to this county. We have a lot of deposits and the ratio is really high. Okay, well, hope you liked this video. You can do a lot with the pivot table. For now, this is all. Let me know if you have questions. I'm gonna continue adding videos talking about credit unions data. If you like that video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.